Hey, what's going on everybody? Jake here with Venture Visuals, and today I'm very excited to be showing you guys a breakdown of this Trippy music video effect. I got the inspiration to make this tutorial from a Blueface video called Stop Cappin'. It's a few years old. Now I do have the original Blueface music video pulled up, and I just want to show you guys very quickly how they use this effect in their edit so you guys can kind of get the idea. And right there, you can see these blue lines that kind of pop out of the shapes. And they do this throughout the music video. And I thought this effect was trippy. So right off the bat, what I realized what they were doing was rotoscoping the figures out of the screen. And then they were making like a mask around the shapes of them. And then behind the mask in the rotoscope layer, they put like this crazy blue bandana texture. And although this effect kind of looks complicated, it's really not that hard, and we're gonna be breaking it down very easy for you guys to replicate for your own music videos. So we're not gonna be in Premiere Pro that much for this video. This effect is mostly gonna be After Effects, but I am gonna show you guys how to import your Premiere Pro sequence into After Effects without having to drag your clips all around your computer and re-import your stuff. So all you have to do to get your clips from Premiere Pro to After Effects is right click on your clip in Premiere Pro and hit replace with After Effects composition. Now I'm just gonna hop into After Effects here, and I've already got a couple examples of this effect and how I used it in my own music video. This music video is called Dubai. I shot it a couple years ago with Tip Top Tiggy. It's on my YouTube channel if you want to check it out. But I used this effect throughout the music video as well. And I did it by utilizing the same technique that they used in the Blueface video, and that's just masking and layering. So you can see another one right there. This is pretty basic. So here in my layer panel, you can see that it's really not that complicated. On the top layer, we have the actual music video clip, and then on the bottom layer, we have this numbers overlay that I just downloaded online that I thought would be a trippy, cool background, kind of like how they did their blue bandana. So we're gonna start this effect completely from scratch, and I'm gonna show you guys two ways you can make this effect happen. So the first way, which is the easier way in my opinion, is to just use the eraser tool. So I'm actually here in a new composition and we don't have any effects happening yet. So what we're gonna do is just start at this first frame. We're gonna double click on our clip right here. That's gonna bring it into our layer panel, and then you're gonna come up here and hit the eraser tool. Okay, that's gonna change your cursor from like an arrow to this circle so you can see where you're tracing. And then you want to make sure that your brush is in between probably 50 and 60 pixels. Now you can change this depending on personal preference, and I also recommend having the hardness turned up to 100%. And then the important part of all this is you're gonna come down here to paint, and you're gonna change the duration to either single frame or custom depending on how long you want this effect to last for. So we're just gonna do custom. We're gonna go with 2 frames for this. So each time I paint with the eraser, it's only gonna last for that 1 frame, and then it's gonna go back to normal. So watch this, guys. If I just let it play out here, maybe like right here is where the effect starts happening. All I'm gonna do is just start erasing around the shape of this person. Now all I'm gonna do is just hit 2 on my keyboard, and that's gonna cycle us over to the next frame. Now I'm just gonna do the same kind of tracing, but I'm gonna be a little bit farther away from the body outline here, and then I'm gonna hit 2 again. I'm gonna do the same thing until I'm fully satisfied, right? So this is a pretty quick way to get this effect to work, because all we're doing is just these lines from the top layer, and then underneath this layer we're going to put the overlay, which is going to show through the lines, right? So I'm just going to maybe do a couple more little tracings here, get pretty basic with it as it kind of spans out, maybe 1 or 2 more here. That looks good. So now as I scroll through, you can see what the effect is kind of going to look like in very slow motion. So you can test out different overlays and play around with different backgrounds that you want. Now I'm just gonna use this numbers overlay that I downloaded off the internet. So what I'm gonna do is just copy paste this from another composition that we already created into this new one. And what I'm gonna do is drag this numbers layer below our eraser layer. Now you're not going to see it right here because we're in the layer composition, so we need to switch it back to comp 1, which is the original composition, and we're focused on both the layers. Now if I just click on one or the other, it's only going to click into that layer, so that's why you want to make sure to see this effect happening, you want to make sure you're in the composition. So now as I play this back, and it loops, you can see the effect right there. Very trippy, very easy to make. I'm gonna show you guys one more way that's a little bit harder, and that's by doing just masking. So here in this composition right here, you can see the shapes that I traced out are not the same looking, not as smooth looking as the eraser shapes. They've got a little bit of distortion in them. They're not perfectly even on both sides. There's this little point right here. So you can see all my layers here. Now, again, we have our overlay on the bottom that's shining up through the tracing, and here on the top we have kind of 3 segments of this same clip, right? So if I just hide this segment, you can see it's just the overall music video clip. So I used the pen tool and I just traced around the outline, and then if I drop down this layer, come down here to mask, you can see that I inverted it. So if I turn the invert off, you can actually see what it looked like originally, and I just inverted the mask. Now I'm going to show you guys quickly how to do this because it does sound a little complicated now that I'm speaking it into existence. So what we're going to do is just duplicate this last frame here. Let's just drag it out and delete the mask for now, because we're just going to create the mask. Okay, so I deleted some of those other layers to kind of make it easier to see, but you can see we don't have that effect happening on this layer right now, so we're just going to make that mask start to come through so we can start seeing our effects. So again, guys, I just came up here to pen tool. You can just start tracing around, making like an outline here, just something. You can hold and click to get these like kind of curvature shapes right there if you want. And I'm just gonna make a shape. Boom, almost done. There it is. So we have our mask, right? But I mask it, and then underneath it is our numbers layer. So this doesn't look right. So what I have to do is come to this mask layer. Again, all I have to do is hit inverted, and then it inverts the mask, and you can start to see why that is so powerful. So then maybe at this moment, the rest of this clip will just delete the mask so it goes back to normal. So then we have it like that right there. So again, this isn't the best, I'm not gonna lie, this isn't the best looking example I've ever done. It does take a little bit of time when you're doing the masking way. That's why I like doing the eraser way personally, because it's just a little bit easier and smoother. I think it looks a little bit nicer on the eyes, a little more professional. But the mask way is cool. It's a little bit more creative, and depending on how your clips are looking, it might end up looking better than the eraser version. Go ahead and experiment with this effect. And if any of you are interested in downloading some overlays, transitions, light leaks, and a bunch of other stuff, check out my website, ventervisuals.com. I got a bunch of really cool stuff on there designed for video editors, mostly just for creative edits like music videos, gaming edits, that sort of thing. So if any of that interests you, definitely check out my link below. And if you're a creative who wants to join a community of creators, definitely consider hitting the subscribe button. I want this community to grow with other creative people, and I want us all to be able to help each other achieve better edits, better visuals, and just better vibes, you know? So definitely consider hitting the subscribe button if you want to be a part of this creative journey with me. I'm working really hard on these tutorial videos, so I really appreciate everybody who likes, comments, or subscribes to my channel. It means so much. We're just getting started. Can't wait to see what's next for us all this year, and I appreciate you for tuning in. I'm Jake Venner. Peace out.